Hi, I'm Marcia Sear, Outreach Librarian, and I'm going to be talking about my three favorite books from 2020. My selections are adult and young adult. The first one is a mystery. It's called Troubled Blood, and the author is Robert Galbraith. Robert Galbraith is actually a pseudonym for J.K. Rowling, and in case you didn't know, the Harry Potter author also writes adult fiction under this pseudonym. And Troubled Blood is a mystery that's part of the Cormoran Strike series. Cormoran Strike is a private detective in London. The whole book is set in England. And he is kind of a man that has a little bit of trauma in his past. He used to be in the British Army, and he was a military detective. But while he was serving in Afghanistan, he suffered a trauma to his leg, and he loses part of his leg in an amputation after getting hit by an IED. So he goes back to London and has to kind of try and figure out his life and what he's going to do next. And he ends up opening his own detective agency. This particular mystery is really good. It's a cold case, missing person. A young woman doctor goes missing. And 30 or 40 years later, her daughter, who was just an infant at the time, hires him to find out ultimately if it was possible to figure out what happened to her mother. So it is really good. The whole series is awesome. And you might not want to start with this one. If this series sounds interesting to you, maybe start with number one. But interestingly enough, the BBC also made the Cormoran Strike into a television series. So if you're not into reading but you want to try a different kind of mysteries, try the Cormoran Strike series by Robert Galbraith. And my next book, I read a lot of science fiction and fantasy. And my all-time favorite book for 2020 was this book. It's called Emerald Blaze, and it's written by Ilona Andrews. Ilona Andrews is also a pseudonym. It's actually a husband and wife author team that write together, and they write mostly fantasy and science fiction. This particular book, Emerald Blaze, is part of a series called The Hidden Legacy. And it is set in modern times, so it's like magical fantasy, but it's modern. It's set in the Houston area. You know, they have cell phones and computers and such like that. But the story revolves around this family who runs their own small detective agency. It's a family affair. The three sisters work in it. And they also have some more family employees. And there is a magical event that happens in Houston that's very troubling, and they investigate. And in the meantime, there's also a really lovely thread of hot romance in there. So if you like your fantasy and mystery with a little thread of excitement and romance, this one's for you. It's not too sexy. It's not over the top at all. For those people who don't like that, there's really not gratuitous sexy times, just a nice romance that's brewing. So that is Emerald Blaze by Ilona Andrews from the Hidden Legacy series. And the last one I want to talk about is The Shadow Wand by Laurie Forrest. This is a young adult fantasy. The series is about a girl. She's a teenager, and She is the granddaughter of a very powerful witch, but unfortunately she does not manifest the powers that the grandmother had, and she experiences some feelings of letting people down, and she looks just like her, but she doesn't have that same enigma that her grandmother had, and so she feels like she's a letdown. But over the course of the series, she develops some of her own skills. She's very talented in using herbs and making medicines, and is quite an interesting healer. As it comes to this book, it gets really exciting and really action-packed fast. So this is a series that has a lot of action. There's a lot of characters in this series, so if you like kind of an epic fantasy that has lots of characters and maybe a couple different storylines going on at once, this is the kind of series that is like that. This particular series does have a little bit of a love triangle in it, which I enjoy, but I know some people are put off by that, so that would be my only warning for those of you. But I would give it a try because it's really well done, and it's just a really exciting, fun, fantastical read. And I would think the main triumphant storyline that's going through is good versus evil, and really discovering who you are. So those are my 3 picks for 2020. I hope you enjoy them.